In the Division 2, there's an exotic desert eagle called Liberty. In order to get one for yourself, you'll need to go through 4 different missions on hard or challenge mode to kill 4 different elite enemies, starting with Captain Kendra Nelson. You'll find her at the end of the Capitol building stronghold. She'll drop an exotic crafting material called Pistol Trigger and Mechanism. The next person you'll need to kill is Captain Briggs at the American History Museum. He'll drop the exotic material called Pistol Receiver and Paint Job. Next, you'll want to go to the Viewpoint Museum to get the pistol sight and rail material off of Staff Sergeant Carl Wade. And then the last stop is the Space Administration HQ mission. This is where you'll get the last piece of crafting material from Master Sergeant Steve Kiros, as well as a blueprint to craft the Liberty. I've heard from other players that sometimes the exotic materials didn't drop for them after killing one of the 4 elite enemies. It's possible that they may have forgotten to change the difficulty of the missions to hard or challenging, or it may be possible that there is a sequence involved with which elite enemies you kill and when. I got all the materials and the blueprint the first time around by completing the 4 missions in the order we just went through, so hopefully you'll have the same experience as I did on your quest for the Liberty. Once you get the blueprint for the Liberty, you're not quite out of the woods yet. You still need 30 polycarbonate, 22 carbon fiber, 69 receiver components, and 812 E-credits. None of which should really be a problem, but there is still one piece missing before you can craft the Liberty, and that's the D50. I've been playing the Division 2 for almost 100 hours, and I have seen only one D50 drop at this point, so if you stumble across one, make sure to favorite it and keep it safe until you've got the Liberty. I got mine as a reward for completing the Air and Space Museum on challenging difficulty, but from what I've read, it's completely random. I know people have gotten the D50s from opening field proficiency caches as well, but whatever the case is, I hope you can find one much sooner than I had. Once you have everything, you can finally craft your very own Liberty. One more thing to note is that the D50 that you use in crafting the Liberty has to be high-end. And don't forget to completely upgrade your crafting bench before you craft any of the exotics. So let's take a look at this particular Liberty stats. It has a gear score of 440, it does 53.4 thousand damage per round, it can shoot 150 rounds per minute, and it has a magazine capacity of 8 rounds. The accuracy, stability, and optimal range all indicate that this pistol is meant for short to mid-range encounters. As far as these base stats go, it's a pretty impressive pistol, so let's move on to the talents. The first talent is actually called Liberty. This talent allows the pistol to do 100% more damage to hostile electronics. It also highlights enemy weak points and hostile electronics while aiming down the sights. The second talent is called Blind Justice. After destroying an enemy weak point or hostile electronic, the next round does 500% more damage to an enemy, if it hits. If you do hit and kill an enemy with that round, which isn't too terribly hard to do, the Liberty's magazine is automatically refilled. Each round in that magazine does 100% more damage. The last talent is called Independence. While the Liberty is holstered, destroying an enemy weak point refills 20% of your active weapons magazine. So let's quickly summarize how the first 3 talents work together. While aiming down the sights of the Liberty, you will see the enemy's weak points. If you shoot and destroy one of those weak points, the next shot out of the Liberty will do 500% more damage. If you can kill an enemy with that shot, the Liberty's magazine will completely refill, and every round in that magazine will do 100% more damage. So, in essence, the Liberty is a pretty monstrous pistol. One of the things I think is really cool about the Liberty is that you can pretty much treat it like a primary weapon. It doles out the same amount of damage as many of the shotguns, except you can shoot it further and faster. The talents will require you to play a certain way if you want to take full advantage of what the Liberty has to offer, but The same can be said about all the other exotics, and to be honest, the talents incentivize playing in a pretty effective way, especially when it comes to elite enemies. Even the fourth talent, Independence, rewards you for hitting enemy weak points with your other weapons, again, refilling your active weapons magazine by 20%. If you weren't a fan of the Bulwark Ballistic Shield talent before, you might be once you get the Liberty. Aggressing enemies while you blow heads off is a satisfying feeling, especially when you see the rest of your team hiding behind cover. I'll oftentimes use the Fixer Drone in conjunction with the Bulwark Ballistic Shield whenever I want to use the Liberty as a primary weapon. It's a pretty juggernaut setup, but even without having a build for the Liberty, it's just a really nice tertiary weapon you can fall back on if you have to. Since a 10 out of 10 is a perfect score, which I think should be unattainable anyway, I would have to give the Liberty a 9.5 out of 10, and let me explain why. For the 100 hours that I have played The Division 2, not once did I have a pistol that I really liked. However, there are plenty of primary weapons that I feel very comfortable using. Yeah, the Chatterbox and Merciless are pretty damn good, but having either of those equipped would still have me wanting for a third weapon that I would actually choose to use. Having the Liberty equipped allows me to have 3 awesome weapons equipped at any given time, rather than 2. The pistol in most games, including this one, are oftentimes fallback weapons, but the Liberty is more than that. And since the Liberty is a pistol, you have an infinite amount of ammo for it, so if you do run out of ammunition for everything else, you won't feel that bad just using the exotic Deagle. The half a point I'm taking away from the Liberty is mostly due to its lack of range. You could probably run whole missions on challenging mode with it, but there is a point where an enemy is just too far away for the exotic Desert Eagle to deal with. Also, the stability and accuracy could be better, but I think both of those aspects are fair, considering how much damage it does. So what do you think? Is 9.5 out of 10 too generous? Let us know how you'd rate it in the comments section, and if you enjoyed this video, please consider dropping a like on it and maybe even subscribing to the Havoc Gaming channel. Thanks for watching, and Godspeed.